I don't want you to see it yet. Welcome back, friends. So today we're going to work on this painting. We're going to do the bathing suit, and it's collage. And we made papers. We made these papers. I found out that they were too transparent because her bathing suit, the digital part of it was black. So when I pasted them on top, it just really made it super dark and you couldn't really see the rich colors. So I added white to the other side. I pulled out my plate real quick, got some titanium white, and added some white paint to the back. And then it worked beautifully. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you my tiny studio that has no room to be working on multiple large paintings, but this was done on the computer, believe it or not. That little green swatch you see on her bathing suit was a test to see medical exam paper, how much of the black is going to show through. But these papers that I am making today, I think they're going to be fine because they're dark enough. I was originally going to do like greens and blues like that, but I'm not. This is a 24 by 36, as you could see. And I still haven't decided about the background, if I'm going to paint it, collage it. I'm thinking paint. Collage her bathing suit, maybe collage the edge of the pool, dock, whatever it is that she's sitting on, and maybe paint her hat. I don't know, haven't decided yet. But this is a work in progress, and these papers were necessary to get this one done. And I'm really, oh God, I'm excited about this one. Okay, so there were a couple of white spots on the digital file, so I'm filling them in with some black gesso. And I'm also going to cover up the green swatch that I was testing over here. And, just touching some things up a little bit before I collage with the red papers. So as I mentioned in my intro, I tried gluing the paper down without this extremely transparent paper with transparent red painted on it. It was too dark. It was losing all of its vibrancy. So I pulled out the gel plate and put some titanium white on the other side. And that really solved a big problem for me, as you'll see. So here you can see just how bright that red is. And the other side, I put the white. So I'm just going to go over this one that I put down, and we're just going to move forward and get it done. Sometimes, this is really the first time I'm doing this on black. Normally, I do paint my when I'm doing a canvas from scratch and I'm gessoing it myself. I put black gesso down, and these transparent papers are not going to work with something like that, but we live and learn. So I have about, I don't know, 4 or 5 different kinds of red papers that I'm going to be using here, and these were all from that last video that you might have seen. If you haven't, I'm going to post it in the upper right hand corner so that you can go watch that. I really was struggling with trying to figure out my color palette and what type of papers I wanted this to be. And I just was deciding I'm just going to do a session and see where it goes. Just see where, get into the flow and see where it takes me. And that's how these papers were created. And I was really pleased in the end because the papers for this bathing suit were just so beautiful. The combination of quinacridone red, quinacridone purple, along with a little bit of Indian yellow and some Payne's gray. Oh my goodness, I was having such a good time. And I got a lot of beautiful papers. So I'm going to move around a lot. I'm not going to use like the same paper in one big clump. I'm going to try to mix it up. I have some lighter ones that are a little more pink, like the one I'm putting down right now. And so I don't want them all to be exactly the same paper, but they all look good together. So that's the important thing. And some of the papers I did like more than others, but I think they all look great together. And once you start cutting them up, it's really just shapes and color, and it's different than when you're doing a composition. You're just going for style. This pink one even has a little bit of Indian yellow in that bottom part. It's a beautiful paper. And the new stencils were used when I was making these papers, and I really love the shapes that it created. And I don't use purple a lot. I don't know why. I do like red and purple, always have, but I just don't use it often enough. I don't know. Now that I have the quinacridone purple, I probably will use it a little bit more. Got to find some other colors that it works well with, where it doesn't turn brown. And I think that's why I don't use it so much, because a lot of times I'm reaching for yellow. And yeah, purple and yellow you just can't do on the gel plate, because the purple just turns into a brown color. Brown's not my favorite color. Anyway, this next paper that I'm using is one of my favorites. And I love the little dots that I got in the Payne's gray on these papers. That also is making this whole pattern, very abstract pattern for her bathing suit. It's making it come alive, giving it dimension. So I didn't talk too much about the actual figure and what this is. If you're familiar with my work at all, I sometimes work in a fabric mosaic, where each one of those pieces, the mosaic pieces that make up the body, the skin part of the body, are glued down individually. And I've, in the last couple of years, started doing this on the computer, because first of all, I can be more precise with it, and secondly, I can do it a lot quicker. I can make multiple versions. Like I could print this out again, make her bathing suit a different color, completely reimagine the background, and I'll have a completely different painting, except for the skin part. I can also go in and change the phrases. So the phrase that I included on this one, or the affirmations, however, the positive thoughts, whatever you want to call it, is about today being a gift. So it starts with, forget yesterday. It has already forgotten me. Today is a gift to be savored and felt. I give it my full attention. I am in the moment. So I really like this, because in the last couple of years, I've really been trying to live in the moment. I've been trying to appreciate every day that I have. This probably started when I lost my mother. I was very, very fortunate to have my mother for so long. Not everybody's quite as fortunate as I was, but it didn't make it any easier, mind you. So, you also, your own mortality sort of comes up, And a lot of other things have happened in the last couple of years that also remind us that today is a gift, for sure. And for me, that's why I live in South Florida. To really enjoy my life, I want to be in the sunshine. I want to live somewhere where I can put on my bathing suit any day of the year and enjoy the sun. I don't bake in the sun, but you know what I'm saying. I really enjoy hanging out at the pool with my neighbors, and we have the lifestyle here that you just don't find in most places. You can have it, you know, for 3 months in the summer, but we have it all year round. And so that's why I chose to have her sitting. I don't know if it's supposed to be a pool or the ocean or a lake or whatever, but she's kind of sitting at the edge of a dock and the water's out in front of her. And to me, that is a great day. So I tell you that story just to kind of give you an idea of where my ideas come from, because you know, that's a common question that I get. Like, you know, how did you even come up with this idea? Obviously, I start with the affirmations or the positive thought, the thing that I'm trying to remember. You know. So this phrase was really important to me, and then I start thinking, well, how can I, you know, what's the visual that goes with this, and you know, what does it mean to me? So that's how I come up with the ideas. Now, I just want to say one thing. I had to make like a little template so that I could get that curve correct at the top of the bathing suit right there. I was so busy talking, I didn't explain that to you. But anyway, I go in and I get my deli paper out, which I also use as tracing paper, and I, you know, cut the arc that I need so that it's exactly what it's supposed to be. And unfortunately, at this point, I didn't notice I was off camera. Sorry about that. So you might also notice this bandage or KT tape on my left arm. It's not a big deal. I just sprained my thumb, like that muscle right next to the thumb. It's kind of annoying, but it's okay. I didn't really injure it. But it's very obvious. So I thought I should mention it. Anyway, this is moving very quickly because I am working with some big pieces. Eventually, I will start to work in smaller pieces. And as I go around the edges, that slows me down a little bit because I do have to, you know, cut some templates. So somebody in I don't know, in the last video that I did with the guitar, they saw that I was using the emergency room, you know, the table paper, and they commented that it is not an archival paper and shouldn't be used for fine art. And in my opinion, and I also talked to some other artist friends, and they agree with me. First of all, we're working with acrylic. That paper is like almost to the back side of the paper. The acrylic is seeping in. I'm using high quality acrylic paints also that are archival, and I'm using high quality gel medium. I'm using Liquitex gloss medium, and each paper is really encased in the gel medium. And then when the painting is finished, I'm going to varnish it. So I'm not really that worried about these papers. I'm not worried about them fading, and I'm not worried about them disintegrating because they are completely sealed. So if you're worried about archival, I wouldn't worry. So you'll notice that I put a decent amount of gel medium down on the canvas. I put the paper down, and then I put a decent amount over on the top. And plus, as they're overlapping, the one below it got even more gel medium. So there's many, I mean, they end up getting really coated with gel medium. So that's why I say I'm really not that worried. I use sometimes a gloss varnish or a satin varnish when it's finished, and those also are good for like UV protection. You don't want your colors to fade because you have a, you know, sunlight coming in the window. These high quality professional paints that I'm using on these papers do not fade. So you can see how fast this is going, even though I've got it slightly sped up, but it it went pretty fast. The mosaic pattern stuff, they take a lot longer, especially when you have like little tiny pieces. I'm still working on that flamingo, by the way. It's so tedious that I put it aside for a little bit because I just didn't want to work on it. But I will get it finished and I will show it to you when it is finished. But I kind of like working like this. I like the end result with the bigger pieces. And then I make some smaller pieces in order to, you know, fill in areas, go around the edges, especially where we have like the little folds of the fabric. Actually, I think this would be really cool fabric. I probably could, you know, with spoon flour, I could probably make some fabric from my gel prints. Never thought of that before. So spoon flour, if you're not familiar with it, is a website where you can upload your designs. It cannot be copyright. It's got to be your designs, and you could order fabric like by the yard, and you could also buy other artists' work. So there's tons of designs that artists have uploaded that you could buy their unique patterns. It's a great website. I love it. That's where I always got my fabric for the fabric mosaic. I would upload a Photoshop file that had the words printed on it, and then I would cut and glue on from there. So I've been using spoon flour for quite a while. So the way that I did this body was digitally, and I did that with Illustrator. So I created, if you're familiar with Illustrator, it's made by Adobe. You can create what they call like pattern swatches, and each one had the phrase printed on it with a different color, a different tonal range on the background, so different shades of the gray. And I could just use the pen tool and create a triangle or a shape and fill it with that pattern. So it went pretty quickly. It still took me probably, I don't know, maybe 6 hours, maybe longer to, you know, do the entire body. I wouldn't do it all in one session. I would do a little, you know, an hour one day, an hour another day until it was finished, because it's very tedious. but but I love the way it looks. And then I send it off to the digital file off to a company that prints it onto canvas. And now I have a really great canvas to paint on and to collage on. And I think it's a good solution. It looks just like my other work, but it doesn't take me months. And I think digital work is starting to become more mainstream. People are not quite as, I don't know if they're calling it fine art yet, but I think after the whole NFT thing, even though NFTs are dead, I think people are having a little more respect for digital work, and it's starting to be seen as just another medium. And so why not be on the front end of that? So let me know what you think about that. What do you think about digital work? This isn't 100% digital. This is what I call a digital hybrid. So, the idea is still original. Why not use, we are in the 21st century. Why not use 21st century tools? That's my opinion. Leave a comment below and let me know what your opinion is. I would love to hear. As always, as we get to the final pieces, it slows the process down a little bit, especially those edges. So I think some of this I missed I didn't realize that my camera needed to be adjusted. I apologize for that. But I had to, really go all the way up her sides. And now the only final pieces I really have to do is that little pucker of fabric right there on the right, and then a couple of little spots. And I'm loving the way this pattern has turned out, like overall. The variation in the shades of red. As you could see, I actually cut that one out a little bit so that it would fit right there. And I'm leaving some of the black too, because there's also, it's not really black as Payne's gray, but it looks black, and that's part of the pattern. So I don't care if I see a tiny little bit of the black background. And I'm definitely very pleased with the not emergency, I'm sorry, the exam table paper is, the medical exam table paper is, definitely collages really well, but keep this in mind, your background has to be white. I was thinking like my rice paper, I wasn't really thinking. And I do like this better than the rice paper. It really looks painted on. It does not look like paper. When you see it in person, it just kind of melts right in and it looks like it was painted. So, but the rice paper would have been fine against the black. This paper was too transparent for that. So this part is finished. I really like that I used the Indian yellow. I think it really, and that pinker paper, we needed that. It needed to have some variation. Okay, so I'm really pleased so far. She's looking good. Still have to figure out what I'm going to do with the background. These are, videos that are going to be in the near future, and we'll have like a little series on building this painting. So this is a new format I'm trying here on the channel. Please let me know if you enjoy this, if you like to see the progress of this work. And the reason why I'm doing that is these small paintings, although they're lots of fun and I can get them done in the time that, a single video, 25-minute video, that's great, but it's not helping me get work done. So I need to be able to do videos and get work done so that I could have an exhibit. I would like to have an exhibition sometime in the fall maybe, and I need to have some work done. And I did a digital, this is digital, but if you wanted to try something like this, find a copyright-free image, paint this part. This is my style, this is what I do, but you make it yours. You could do palette knife painting, you could do anything you want, and then combine it with collage. So I'm going to inspire you to do something like that, and it doesn't have to be this big. Anyway, don't forget to create, inspire, and share, and I will see you next time. Oh, and once again, share with me over on Instagram. I want to see your work, even if it's the intuitive collage kind of thing. Share it with me, tag me. Let me know that you watch the channel, and I will follow you back. I'll see you over on Instagram. Bye.